Welcome to The Explainer. Look, if you're running a hard-working service business here in Ireland, you know this exact scenario, right? You're elbow deep in a job, your hands are literally covered in grease or paint, and suddenly, the phone starts ringing. You can't get it. So what actually happens when that call goes unanswered? Today we're looking at how a modern AI receptionist might just be the concrete fix you've been waiting for.
Okay, I want to hook you right away with this number, because honestly, it totally changes how we have to look at an unanswered phone. 62%. The data shows that 62% of callers who miss you will just hang up and ring a competitor. Immediately. Not tomorrow morning, not after dinner, right then and there while the problem is fresh. I mean, that's literally a lost lead in a matter of seconds.
And honestly, the source material from webs.ie just hits the nail on the head regarding the visceral reality for a 1 or 2 person operation. They say, the phone doesn't know you're closed. It rings at 6:30 in the evening, right in the middle of Sunday lunch, or the exact second you're under a car or fixing a boiler. And the tough truth? Whoever answers that call gets the work.
So, here's our roadmap for the explainer. First, the missed call problem. Second, what AI receptionists actually do. Third, some real proof from a Dublin garage. Fourth, the real costs in euros. And finally, is it actually worth it for you? Let's get into it.
Section 1. The missed call problem. The hidden leak costing you jobs. You know, a missed call is kind of like a phantom. It leaves absolutely no trace, no invoice. The job just quietly happens somewhere else. Check out the actual fate of business calls. A 2024 study by 411 Locals analyzed 58 different industries, and the breakdown is pretty stunning. A live person picked up only 37.8% of the time. Another 37.8% hit voicemail. And nearly a quarter of all calls, 24.3%, got absolutely nothing, just ringing out into the void. Think about that for a second. That is a massive chunk of lost business just floating away. And hey, for that 37.8% that actually hit voicemail, well, the news really isn't much better there either. State of the call data from Hiya reveals this huge irony. 80 to 90% of callers hate voicemail so much, they literally just hang up at the beep. So yeah, voicemail, it's really not the safety net we all like to pretend it is. So the big takeaway here is the real-world consequence. Roughly 1 in 3 calls to a service business comes in outside standard hours. When they hit a voicemail they despise, or just an endless ringing tone, they leave no trace, no invoice. The job just happens somewhere else, and you've basically lost revenue you didn't even know was on the table. Which brings us to Section 2, what AI receptionists do. The modern fix for routine calls. Just to clear this up right off the bat, we're talking about cloud software that holds a fluid, natural conversation. This is absolutely not the robotic phone tree nightmare from 10 years ago. We really need to draw a hard line here. On one side, you have the old press 1 menu. You know the one? It plays those rigid, annoying recordings, waits for you to press a button, and frustrates people so badly that 35 to 45% of callers just abandon the call entirely. On the other side is modern conversational AI. This uses advanced language models to handle completely free-form sentences. You literally just talk to it naturally and it hits 90 to 95% accuracy. Because of that, the abandonment rate plummets to under 12%. It is night and day, guys. So how does it actually earn its keep? Well, it happens in this super quick, live, mid-call loop. First, it instantly turns the caller's speech into text. Second, it understands exactly what they need and checks your live calendar availability right then and there. Third, it books the slot and texts them a confirmation before they even hang up the phone. Boom. Nobody is waiting around for a callback, which means nobody is drifting off to ring the guy down the road. Section 3. Proof. A Dublin garage reality. We are stepping totally away from Silicon Valley buzzwords here and bringing this right down to reality on the Crumlin Road in Dublin 12. Let's look at a real-world build by webs.ie for pro auto repairs. In their first demo call flow, which the source honestly notes is a scripted render based on the real build, a caller rings after hours. Their car won't start, and get this, they have an NCT test tomorrow morning. Obviously, incredibly urgent. But the AI agent, it doesn't panic, and it certainly doesn't send them to voicemail. It calmly triages the mechanical issue, checks the calendar, and instantly books them an early morning slot. Now, the second demo highlights the everyday routine stuff. A customer calls up needing a standard annual oil and filter service. The AI agent naturally proposes a free slot that works for the caller and just books the appointment directly into the garage's system. It handles that recurring maintenance completely seamlessly. And this brilliantly illustrates the real value here. I want you to notice what is entirely absent from both of those interactions. There's no confusing phone menu to navigate. There's no robotic voice telling you your call is important to us while trapping you on hold forever. The caller gets exactly what they want, a confirmed appointment and a text message, with absolutely zero corporate friction. Moving on to Section 4, the real costs, the bottom line in euros. Let's strip away all the marketing gloss and look at exactly what this actually costs to run.
Okay, here is the approximate monthly cost breakdown of various tools on the market as of mid-2026. On the entry level, you've got tools like Rosie starting around 42 euros for basic message taking, but keep in mind, you're hit with a strict 250-minute cap there. The mid-tier options, like Nextphone at 172 euros or webs.ie's specific after-hour service at 199 euros, give you great features like calendar bookings, SMS confirmations, and usually no setup fees. Then at the premium end, Smith.ai pushes past 430 euros for 24/7 coverage and live agent handoff. But a quick warning there, watch out for steep, hidden, one-time AI training fees with the pricier options. Now, I want you to compare those software costs to this number right here, 35,000 to 40,000 euros. According to Morgan McKinley's salary guide, that is the base salary for a human receptionist in Dublin right now. I mean, the contrast is just dramatic, isn't it? But hey, as any business owner knows, base salary is never the whole story, is it? You're also looking at 11.25% employer PRSI. You're looking at pension contributions, holiday cover, sick days, the whole shebang. Now, don't get me wrong, a human receptionist is incredibly valuable. But if your only real problem is just answering the phone when you're super busy or catching calls after 6 p.m., hiring a full-time human is a wildly expensive patch for a very specific hole. Section 5, is it worth it? The verdict for your business. Let's give you a clear heuristic to figure out if this software actually fits your specific business model, because honestly, it isn't for absolutely everyone. Here is how you map it out. The perfect candidates for this, we're talking plumbers, garages, dental practices. They fall solidly into the yes column. You're getting between 30 and 150 calls a month. The calls are routine, folks asking for prices, hours, or booking a slot. And crucially, you already know you're losing jobs to voicemail. On the flip side, point toward no if your phone only rings a few times a week, or if your callers are highly emotional, filing complaints, or needing live expert troubleshooting. An upset customer definitely needs a human ear, not software. Now, if you do fall into that yes category, you might be stressing about the technical headache of setting it all up. Let me reassure you right now, deployment is totally undramatic. Your business number stays your number. There is absolutely nothing new to print on your vans, your business cards, or your shop front. You simply set up a call forwarding rule so the line goes to the AI when you close up shop or get busy, and it drops right back to you in the morning. Easy as that. And that brings us to our final provocative thought. The question isn't really whether you can afford an AI receptionist. The true question you have to ask yourself is, how many calls can you actually afford to miss? I challenge you to look at your own missed call log this week and genuinely weigh the true cost of doing nothing. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope it provided some serious clarity for your business. Catch you next time.